Shasha kakhulu FC manager. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm alright. How you doing?
I'm alright. Big question of the week. Has VAR affected your FPL managing?
No, good question. I don't think it's really affected the managing per se. I think it's just made the games way more dramatic. I really feel that it's really slowed the game down. Technology should be here to assist and make the game flow a bit better. But this weekend, especially, some of the calls were just like really tedious to see, and especially that Chelsea Spurs game. I mean, that was one heck of a roller coaster. Watching it, yes, it slows it down, but in terms of team selection, player selection, no, I really don't think it's something that should affect the team. Instead, it's more of a distraction than anything, because I mean, anything can happen. So for me, no, not at the moment. It's just that I really feel that the higher powers that be need to really look at VAR if it's really assisting the game or slowing it down. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Thank you for that, Goba. You have been on the downward spiral of late. Well, I can't even say of late, but it's like been going on for a while now, almost a whole month, the last 4 weeks. So, what are your plans to get back where you supposedly belong?
No, thanks, chaps. I'm actually not surprised at your observation. Funny enough, I actually think that the team is slowly picking up traction. I've moved one position up in some mini leagues, so that's a positive. Looking at Gameweek 11, really, it's nothing for me to panic, because the whole FPL community didn't really do so well. Looking at the team that I fielded, I just feel that like we were all unlucky. But going forward, it's another reminder that FPL it's one game week away of greatness, one game week away from being doomed. And it's still what game week 11 really. Nothing to write home about. Fair enough. Like this past game week, 26 points is not something that I'm proud of. But yet again, there are some people who didn't even make it in the 20s. So for now, I'm actually quite excited, because looking at how the teams are playing and faring, that it's really out there for all of us to make the right decisions and get lucky here and there. So for me at the moment, I'm seeing an opportunity where players are picking up their hands, from various teams, not necessarily wanting to show my cards that I'm holding, but I do feel the next 2 game weeks are going to be very, very interesting, especially looking at how the top teams, they've got some tight fixtures. Looking at your Man Cities, your Aston Villa as well after game week 13, it's going to be a tough call. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what the community does, and I've also got some ideas up my sleeve, where I can free up some money and hopefully bring in some players that will turn my season around. Thanks.
You mentioned about bringing in some players. Please, could you let us in on what your transfer plans are for game week 12?
All right. No, thanks, Kat. Well, I think at the moment as well, I'm keen to just look at how the teams play and who's fielded for the Champions League, the Europa League. Looking at Friday to make those changes, but definitely I'll be shipping Edison out. I feel that Johnson is the ideal keeper to bring in. And also with those savings, I'll be quite flexible to maneuver. In defense, it's high time Romero leaves. I'm actually very happy that he was on the bench this weekend. With that red card, that was quite a disappointment. So looking to take Romero out. I'm keen to bring on someone like a young Harry Maguire, purely for the fact that now if you look at United, he's the only consistent factor in terms of the defense. I feel that he has been playing a lot better than what the other players in the team are doing. He also has that aerial threat. And at the moment, with how United is playing, I just feel that this is the season for him, or should I say, this period is the season for him to build that confidence in a team that really has none whatsoever. So looking to bring him in for Romero. And then, maybe take a hit. I'm not really keen on keeping Madison for too long as well. But give or take, we'll see, because I've still got those two transfers. If I make those two transfers, at least I'll have some money in the bank. And then looking at game week 13, 14 to see what I can do from there. Yeah, thanks.
Cool, Goba. Thanks for that. So, from your opinion, do you believe that game week 11 was the worst game week in the history of FPL?
Yeah, I think to date, definitely. I was actually laughing because on Sunday, I think it was Sunday afternoon, and even us on our little definitely something that we haven't experienced, as an FPL community. Some guys have even got like points that are just like really shocking. I really don't think we'll have another game week like this. Guys, from the time Arsenal not doing well against Newcastle to Aston Villa being pegged back as well in their game, to Spurs having 2 red cards. I mean, geez, like we didn't expect that. So definitely, and us captaining Haaland, where City won 6-1, but the guy that we all put the armband to is pulled off in half time. Having a Mo Salah against a Luton, we were all praying that he doesn't score, and he doesn't do well. To having that dark horse of Chelsea, seeing freaking Jackson scoring a hat trick. I mean, like, WTF, bro? You saw that coming. We've been ripping that guy's head like the whole season. So if Jackson comes across this, well done, bro. You shut up a lot of people. So yeah, no, definitely it was one of those game weeks. But also at the same time, there's individuals who are able to score 150 points. So it's one of those things that you get to take a bit of give and take, but it's just it's a testament that the template team of players that have the data, because I know a lot of FPL managers pick their teams based on data, but sometimes that data on one game week can really let you down. So I think it's also like an eye opener to other managers who really take the time to look at all the game weeks and what went wrong in this game week as opposed to another. It's like really sometimes it's you anticipate something, and then sometimes you just, even when you try anticipate it, it doesn't pan out. But it's one of those things, it's we put it behind us, we look forward, and we just, at least we know how low is, like for us it's 26 points. So if anything lower than that, geez, then we'd say something's wrong. Thanks.
Thank you, Koba, for that. If you could take a punt this weekend, who would it be?
If I could take a punt this weekend, funny enough, if I take my 2 transfers, I get Edison out. I'm really keen on bringing in Doku into my side. I think being bold and being brave and putting that young man in there who's been able to put Jack Grealish on the bench where he's scrambling for game time. And when he comes on, I mean, he's a spark, everything just lights up. I was even watching the Champions League game last night as well. He's that guy. He's very confident, quick feet. He beats the player. He'll put the ball in the box, and I think that's one guy who's actually going to find Haaland now. He's going to give him that service, because that's also another thing with Man City is like United kind of made him look. Well, he reminded us who Haaland is, but they were pure poor defensively, But with Doku, like he showed in this last game week that he's really, really capable, and he has his own. Obviously, maybe the fixtures might not favor him as much, but I just feel that he's got that confidence to take it to the big teams. And Chelsea weren't great, guys. Let's just be quite frankly honest. They weren't great. I just feel that Spurs just gave it to them. As soon as you go 2 men down in the English Premier League, any team will put you away. They will spread you out wide, because even if you look at their goals, they just did something very simple. Spurs was playing a very high line, so you just needed to time your run, get the ball behind the fullbacks. If you're out wide, there's Johnson in the center, you put it in there. They had so much space. But it's just another reminder that, like you need all 11 players to compete at this level. You can only do it once, where Spurs did show, I think, can't remember the game, but they won. I think it was in Nottingham Forest, if I'm not mistaken. They're playing with 10 men. And in England, you're not going to be able to do that more than once. You can do it once, you get away with it. Anything after that. But yeah, so I just do feel that Chelsea is an opportunity for City to remind us all that, hey, look, we are the defending champions for a reason, and Doku is the right guy that I would back to terrorize that defense. Thanks.
Thanks, Koba.